struggle within me. Growing up, my favorite movie was The Karate Kid. Nowadays, my favorite movie is The Pursuit of Happiness. But as a kid growing up, my favorite movie was The Karate Kid. In that movie, the character of Danielson, after he grew tired of being bullied by the bullies, decided that he wanted to learn how to do karate. He wanted to learn martial arts. And so Mr. Miyagi consents to teach Danielson karate. And so after a season goes by, Mr. Miyagi teaches Danielson martial arts or karate in a non-traditional manner. He has Danielson waxing the car. You remember the phrase wax on and wax off. All y'all know the movie. He has some painting boards upward and he has some painting boards downward. And this is fine for young Danielson for a season, but after a season passed, Danielson goes to Mr. Miyagi and says, I don't want to learn how to wax cars, I don't want to learn how to paint boards, what I want to learn is how to fight and defend myself. What Danielson did not understand is that Mr. Miyagi was teaching him, Mr. Miyagi was preparing him for the future by going at it in a non-traditional manner. In other words, his preparation for the future was coming in a non-traditional manner. In our text this morning, we find a woman that is barren. But I want to suggest to somebody this morning that barrenness sometimes is preparation for what's headed your way. In life, God often prepares us in a non-traditional manner. God does not always give us a manuscript. God does not always say connect A to B, which will connect to C. But unbeknownst to us, God is preparing us sometimes in non-traditional manners. In other words, you have to learn to see your barrenness as preparation for what's headed your way. In other words, your season of preparation is the time to perfect what you have. It's the time to practice. We all grown up. Here they were grown. Isaac and his wife Rebecca, they were practicing, but they were not producing. I want to suggest to somebody that it's all right to fine-tune your craft so that when the light is thrust upon you, you will be ready for that season. That's what's going on in our text this morning. The wife of Isaac, Rebecca, was barren. Although she was capable of producing, although she had the potential to produce, and although I'm sure she had the knowledge of what it took to produce a child. The text tells us that she was barren, but it also suggests that she was barren because God had shut her womb. Now the tradition of the day dictates and tells us that if a woman was unable to produce a child, in particular a male seed, it was because of some sin in her life. But I want to suggest today that you would think outside the box and understand that sometimes your barrenness is not punishing you, but it's a blessing for you in disguise. Because God is preparing you for what's ahead that you are not ready for right now. Is there anybody here this morning, you ever wanted something and you want it right now, but God said, no, I have to prepare you for it, because if I give it to you right now, you'll blow it. If I give it to you right now, you'll misuse it. If I give it to you right now, you'll abuse it. But let's just walk through a season of being patient, and when I bring it to you, you'll be able to appreciate and handle what I'm giving you, because there's no sadder thing to have something and really not be able to use it to its fullness because you don't know how to handle what you have. I'm talking to somebody here this morning saying, God, if you ever bless me with $1 billion, this is what I do with it. But God says, I'm not giving you nothing until you learn how to appreciate the $10 that I'm giving you. But if you ever learn how to be thankful over a little bit, watch this, God will bless you with a whole lot of it. Is there anybody here this morning says, I've got to learn to appreciate the slow season seasons. I got to learn to appreciate the barren season in my life and understand that God is simply preparing me for what's headed my way. That's what's going on in our text this morning. Her barren time was a season of God preparing her for what was headed her way. In other words, can I suggest to somebody this morning that delay does not have to be deadly. Deferment does not mean your dream has been derailed. Defeat does not mean you've been demoralized. But God is simply preparing you for what's headed your way. The text says, after a season of barrenness, Isaac made up his mind that I'm going to pray on her behalf. Can I pause right there? In my season of barrenness, I need somebody to pray on my behalf. When I've done all I can do, I need somebody that says, I'm petitioning the throne of God on your behalf. You get your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm praying for you. That was the wrong neighbor. Find somebody else and say, neighbor, I'm praying for you. I'm praying that God will send every blessing with your name on it your way. I'm praying for you that everything you're supposed to reap, that God will send it your way. I'm praying that God will give you more patience. I'm praying that God will give you prosperity. I'm praying that God will open doors for you. I'm praying that your enemies will have to be silent. I'm praying that God's going to favor you. I'm praying that wherever you go in life, blessings will follow you and overtake you and overwhelm you. I'm praying for you. I'm not talking about you. I'm not turning my nose down at you. I'm not trying to get in your business and say, why haven't you produced yet? Why haven't you come into the calling that's one of your? I'm just praying that soon and very soon God's going to move on your behalf. Is there anybody here this morning? I love Isaac. He said, boo, I'm not going to trip. I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm going to pray on your behalf to God. I'm going to somebody that can do something for you and I, because it's evidently that we can't do it ourselves. But let's go to God and place it in his hand. And the text says that he prayed on her behalf. He went to God in prayer and God answered his prayers. Is there anybody here this morning that knows that God will answer your prayers? Is there anybody here this morning that says, I've tried God, I've sought God, and he will hear and answer? Is there a mother here this morning that said, in the midnight hour, when the kids were in bed, when your boo was fast asleep, you just went downstairs and said, it's me, oh Lord, screaming in the need of, is there some father here this morning, when the kids have been fast asleep, you've been in your room just saying, God, it's me, God will hear and answer your prayer. The text says God answered his prayer, but notice God did not answer until God was ready to move himself. I got to let you know that you can't rush God, you can't hurry God, you can't bribe God, you can't tell God if you do this, I'll do that. God says, I'm God and I'm God all by myself. And when I get ready to move, I'll move on your behalf. Don't rush me. Come here, Grandma. What's your testimony? Baby, you can't rush God no matter how hard you try. You just got to learn to be patient and wait on the Lord and trust and believe that he may not come when you want him, but he will show up. Is there a witness in our house this morning? That God will hear and answer your prayer, but he will not move until God says, I'm ready to move, and he will not move until he feels that you're ready for the blessing that he's getting ready to send your way. So you've got to learn just how to be patient and wait on the Lord and believe that when he moves, that means you're ready for the blessing. The text says that God answered a prayer, and when God decided it was time to move, he blessed it with twins. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. The text says for years they didn't have nothing. He married her at 40. They don't produce till he's 60. That's 20 years, y'all. They have been practicing. That's 20 years. They have been perfecting their gift. That's 20 years. They have been praying. That's 20 years. They have been seeking his face, but nothing happened. But one day he prayed, and when he prayed, God moved, and he gave her double. Y'all missed it. He gave her double. I'm trying to tell somebody, he says, I have to get you prepared because I wasn't going to do this one time. It was going to be double time. I'm trying to tell somebody this morning that when God is ready to move in your life, he's going to give you double for your delay. Every going to give you double for your waiting. I'm going to give you double for your believing. I'm going to give you double for your fasting. I'm going to give you double. I'm going to give anybody here this morning that says, Lord, he's going to give you double for your believing. Can I tell you, that's the importance of preparing for what's headed your way. Because if he gives it to you too soon, it will overwhelm you. It will overtake you. But you got to say, Lord, I understand now. I'm not going to rush you. I'm not going to keep coming to you saying, win. Like my little son yesterday, we went to Santa Barbara. Every few minutes on that 1.5-hour drive, he kept saying, Daddy, are we there yet? And every now and then we find ourselves saying to God, Daddy, is it time yet? Are we there yet? You just have to learn to wait and be patient and understand that when he gets you where you need to be, it's going to be well worth the wait. Is there anybody here this morning that says, I'm waiting on something, but I understand if he moves, he's going to move double time. Tell somebody, God's going to move double time. So the text says that on the inside of her, he was giving her a double blessing. On the inside of her, he was giving her 2 children. In fact, verse 22 says the 2 children on the inside of her struggled within her. Oh God, I like that part. The 2 children on the inside tossed and turned with one another. It symbolized 2 boys. It symbolized 2 nations, but it also symbolized 2 personalities. It also symbolized the dualistic nature that battles within all of us. Come back here this morning. All of us have a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde on the inside. Come here. I know you got your pious face on in this city. We got a side we don't want nobody to see. I know we all know the spiritual cliches. God's blessing me. I'm just going to wait on the Lord. But the other side says, God, when you going to move? When you going to show up? We all have a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Come on, let's just be real. This is family up in here this morning. We all got a side, and we pray that our worst enemy don't discover that we have on the. Is everybody I'm talking to this morning that can just be real? That you can be praising God one moment and then flip the switch another moment. I'm just trying to keep it real this morning. It symbolized Esau and Jacob, the dualistic nature that battles on the inside. And Jacob factor, it's the wild side on one hand, but it's the passive and abiding side on the other hand. That negative thinking on one side that says it's never going to happen because it hasn't happened now, so I'm just going to give up on waiting. But the other side says, they that wait on the Lord, he shall renew your strength. You'll rise up with wings. It's the side that says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. But then that's the other side that says, I want it right now. But then it's the other side that says, I can be patient and wait on the Lord. It's the rough side. But then there's the smooth side. It's the fleshly man. But then there's the spiritual man. It's the side that wants to walk by sight. But then the other side says, I'm going to walk by faith. It's the Esau and Jacob factors that work on the inside of you and I. And that's what Paul was talking